All right, everybody, we're back. It's round 14. We just saw Conrad lose a tough one to Erickson Smith, but he's going to get another crack at, I think, who the new top player in the standings right now, and that is Evan Borofsky, the lone player with 10 wins. So once again, joined I, Will Anderson, joined by Evans Clinchey. Evans, thank you again for being here.
Yeah, happy to do it.
Excited for this matchup.
Absolutely. Two of the top players in the field going head-to-head. It should be fun. Currently, Evan is in first place at 10-3, and Conrad is in second place at the top spread of the 9-4s. So the top two players.
And Evan is just, a little quick scouting report of his game. It feels like he is one of these players that has word knowledge that extends beyond 8 letters, and his command of the dictionary is extremely good. It would be surprising to see Evan miss a bingo. And he is also really, really talented. One of the things that I have focused on for a while is getting better at using the blanks. And Evan is incredibly good at that, like scary good. So let's see if he's able to get his hands on those blanks and show off those skills. So
I assume you're referring to Evan's Aerolith domination there.
I sure am. Aerolith.org, the wonderful word study tool. I can link that here for anybody that is curious. This is a great site to sort of hone your vocab for Scrabble. You can start slow with the small words and move up to the area of the Evan Borofskys of the world, where it's a little scary up there. So yeah, a couple suggestions in the chat of Fatal or Fannel. Not sure which of those two I favor. I guess EN versus ET. It's kind of hard to evaluate. I don't know. My gut doesn't really have a strong preference between those two. I guess I would probably play Fatal. So let's see. It looks like Conrad instead considering Fannel here. Seems fine to me.
For some reason, I can't see the board right now, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but I'll try to get that resolved.
Oh, on Twitch?
Oh, I guess I could log into Twitch and watch it that way.
Suggestions in the chat of Kibla or Bewails for Evan. He plays Kibla very quickly. That seems fine, getting rid of the Q, as opposed to Bewails, which would have scored 16 more points but left that Q, which can often become an albatross. So I think I like Evan's choice there. Getting the score updated for you guys. And good tiles for Conrad, except for that K, which is a little bit not as good of a bingo tile. The rest of the tiles very, very good for bingoing. So if I'm Conrad here, I'm definitely looking to use that K and either score a nice amount of points or keep as many letters as I can and try to draw a bingo. I might be able to share my screen, Evans, if you're not seeing the board also. So
I can log into Twitch and view it that way, but I thought there was supposed to be a view of the board on my screen, and there's not for some reason.
Okay.
I think we're going to get that resolved, though. Well, no worries.
Cool. So good copy pasta with the K there from Jello Mochas, which we know that Official Gidfather loves his K. One of the best Scrabble copy pastas ever. And a great comment from Dewey Seedlings. I love the Sopranos character who said he had an albacore around his neck. That's very amusing. And of course, there was this, in my YouTube video about Scrabble in movies and TV, there was a Scrabble scene in The Sopranos as well, which is pretty amazing. Jackie Jr. Playing only 3-letter words.
Very juvenile 3-letter words, yeah.
Juvenile 3-letter words, while Meadow Soprano is playing oblique and other excellent plays, which is pretty amusing. All right, what will Conrad do? Looks like he's getting set to play Cade parallel to the Q. That seems pretty good. It uses 4 tiles, maybe he would want to use fewer, but this scores a lot more points than his other options. So I think it is worth it. Any thoughts on this play, Evans?
Yeah, seems to be reasonable to me. 33 is a good score. Solid leave. No objection from me.
So we move on. Nicely played by Conrad. We'll see what he draws to this EST. Hard to think of a better 3-tile leave, maybe ERS. But EST is pretty darn good.
Yes, it's pointed out in the chat that Wizarded is available to Evan here, but that is not an actual word in real Scrabble.
64-bit Scrabble says, I'd love to know what ridiculous things Will would come up with to describe me as a good player if I was on stream. Why? I don't understand. First of all, it's not ridiculous to refer to 64-bit Scrabble, Matthew O'Connor, as a great player. I don't get what would be ridiculous. Oh, look at that. The play of Wild here, which looks like a great choice by Evan, blocking Smeltery. That's kind of annoying.
Pretty standard for Conrad on stream, though.
Yeah. Just brutal. It seems like he can't catch a break. Conrad definitely, having covered him a lot on these broadcasts. Oh my God, Evans.
Ooh.
Are you seeing
what I'm seeing? There is a valid bingo here for Conrad, but it is very, very hard to find.
This is a Dave Wiegand situation here. The only player, maybe Evan would see it too. Dave Wiegand is the only player that I would be confident in finding the best play here. And
I would have found it in my prime, but I'm rusty these days.
At no point would I ever have found this word. And good guess by David Firstman, but Jello Mochas has nailed it. It's almost Daymeters. It's Dasimeter, I guess. I don't even know how to say this or what it is. Let's find out what it is.
Anagram for meat yards.
Oh, man. It is a device for measuring the density of gases. And, man, the gases that I would be emitting if Conrad plays this would be pretty intense. I would be astounded to see this hit the board. This is just one of these classic scenarios of every now and then a word like this will come up. And to really grasp the amount of effort that it would take to know every word like this and be able to recall them reliably during a game, it's just so much more effort than the utility that it would have in your life. But man, is it a cool skill as a player, Evans, to be able to slap stuff like this down.
I mean, look, it's one of the top 10,000 nines. So, like, you just got to learn a range of them and you're good for life. Like, it's not crazy.
Oh, man, look, he's close.
Daymester. Please don't play Daymester.
Daymester, like a trimester, whatever. Daymester. Yes. Oh my God. Maybe Conrad is getting some kind of flash in his mind of like, I've seen these letters before, right? Like maybe he's seen this. Maybe he's got some read that I might have something here. Oh, brutal, right? Imagine if he comes up with this. I mean, oh my God. Oh, he just tortured me by sort of putting the S and Y in that general area. I was like, no, he's going to do it. But that's a great play, right? Like if you're not going to bingo, this is a pretty darn good play. 41 points here, leaving flexible tiles for next turn. I can't fault him for this at all. This looks like a really good play. And let's see what he ends up drawing. Well, the Z, that's nice, but it is a tight board here. So anyway, I don't really fault him for that. Would have been a chance at something incredible. Yesterday, Evans, I don't know if you're aware of this either, but we had a chance of Jason Keller had a rack of
Zygosity.
ZYYIG something blank, and his opponent, I can't remember now who it was, Puneet Sharma, placed a T out in space, and we all were freaking out at the chance of Zygosity for 266 points. but it was not to be, sadly. As Evan plays Rig, what do we think of this?
Yeah, Rig. Another option is Tugrik into the K. That would score 22. It's a little bit more risky. But yeah, something like Tig or Rig is totally reasonable as well.
Do we have any? I guess the S is pretty valuable, so there is obviously the option to just tack that S on and get a bunch of more points with cheese.
Yeah,
sorry
13.
to the Rusimov, who doesn't like when I say chi instead of QI, which just amuses me. Yeah, Tugrik looks pretty good. I don't know. Is it that scary to put the T out there like that?
It might even benefit you a little bit because you've got the S in hand, so you can make ST words.
True.
And I would probably go with Tugrik, but it's close.
Yeah, very close. I'm not about to consider this to be a big mistake or maybe even a mistake at all.
Well, he's drawn Utopias, but does it play anywhere? I don't know. Probably not.
Oh, I think Fannel is a noun. So if it's
you're right.
Yeah. So had Fatal gone down, it's kind of interesting. I think Fatal would not have created that hook, but Conrad opting to play Fannel, and that's going to have some small reverberation here. If he doesn't manage to block, which he may actually manage to do, in fact. Where is he getting set to play Nertz with Kin?
Yeah.
There we go. So it looks like he has managed to and on Utopiast doesn't fit either. So nice play there by Conrad, dodging a little bit of a bullet there. Certainly Evan had to have expected that Conrad would try to play from the R of Rig across the board, which also would have obstructed Utopias. So he's probably not that disappointed, but surely still a little bit.
Let's just take a moment and admire this board. This is a Conrad kind of board. There's just no openings for anything.
Good point. Yeah, this is look at the density of this little zone of the board and how many entire, basically untouched quadrants of the board there are. Basically 3, right? Like say is the only word that at all seeps into a different area. So yikes. We'll see what Evan will do to negotiate this. He could play just Zupa off of the Z. That seems okay. It gets rid of the U and scores decently with the P. Muffin with Tentacle with a great comment. Conrad passing up Dasimeter because it opened the board up too much. I don't know. I mean, there's got to be some style points that goes into that, even for the most closed board player, right? Like, even if you're worried, I'm playing that every time there just for the style.
Just bingoing is generally good.
Bingoing is good. Scoring points is good. I agree with those controversial yet brave statements that we're saying here. All right, Zupa, that seems okay here. It is a little aggressive, but Evan is trailing on the scoreboard, and it makes sense for him to be aggressive here. So I think I don't mind that.
Put out in chat that Zupa gives back Farmost as a non-bingo double-double to Conrad. Very nice.
That's true. Yeah, and it looks like he spotted it basically instantaneously. I think Conrad's going to be very happy to play Farmost because it scores really well, and it actually doesn't give a ton back to Evan either. This is an adjective, doesn't take an S at the end of it. So I think this is going to make sense. It also greatly obstructed the N hook on Zupa for Evan there. So just in the nick of time in that sense as well.
Evan is drawn extremely well, though, so he's going to bingo anyway.
For sure. He will figure out a way to bingo somewhere here. Whether he's got good overlapping plays alongside Farmost or just something into the T of Farmost, he will figure something out here for sure. Or I guess just stoning and Fannels if he doesn't see anything else. So definitely options here.
Yeah, it looks like the highest scoring play is going to be in tones, which makes 4 overlaps to the right of Farmost.
Okay, nice. Yep, that will be pretty good if he spots it. So in tones, again, that makes the slightly tricky hook to see if you're not familiar with it of ST, and Evan is spotting it and playing it very quickly here. Nicely done. Both players doing great on the clock this game. Conrad hunched
Conrad
over in
pained.
agony. Poor guy. I mean, he's still, the score of the game is now tied, so I don't think he should be so upset at that.
Knowing Conrad, he's upset because he worked so hard to close this board, and like 1 minute ago it was super closed, and now Intones like forks open everything to the right of it, everything to the bottom of it. Everything's wide open now, and he's like really mad. I can tell.
Yeah, that's got to be a great observation, and knowledge of Conrad's sort of preferences as a player for sure. That's got to be what he's thinking. You know, the board was just so difficult to work with, and Intones did just break it open, as you say. So, but he's got to put the pieces back together and not worry about it too much. Yeah, something like Teth seems pretty good alongside Intones. He, you know, should definitely be thinking about that spot to grab a few points and shed at least 2 of his 3 Ts. So we like that. Meanwhile, Evan not with the greatest draw. So, yeah, what becomes of the board if Conrad plays Teth or something parallel to Intones? It's a little bit less. You've obstructed the S of Intones a little bit, and you may set it up so that if you have a good enough play down column M or something like that, you can close things back up again pretty quickly. So,
yeah, that's a good point.
Suggestion of Vibey for Evan. That seems great. That would be a very, very strong play to get rid of all the clunky letters from his rack. I really doubt that Conrad's going to block that either. So,
he could block really... He could play Tithe or
True.
Thief. Yeah, Tithe and Thief are both somewhat reasonable options.
I wonder if Tithe is slightly more to Conrad's liking, because after that you would sort of eliminate the bingo line down column M, hooking MI. You give back a triple that doesn't really have that much danger associated with it. Maybe he's going to go that route, actually, as I'm thinking about how Conrad likes to assess positions and play.
Yeah, I mean, that is just a wide open lane for basically any 7-letter word. So definitely killing that is more advantageous than killing, 8s through the E or the S in Intones. If killing bingos is your priority, which it doesn't necessarily have to be. I mean, it's not like Conrad's protecting a lead or anything. It's its high score.
True. Okay, so he does opt to play Teth. I'm sure that was his deliberation there, whether I play Teth or Tithe. What are the pros and cons of each? He has a nice sleeve, right? TIE, that could easily become a bingo for him next turn. But it's going to be tough. Well, actually, it won't be that tough. If Evan plays Vibey and Conrad draws something ending in E, he'll play with Toad here. So we'll just have to see what he draws. Pretty important draw here for him.
Definitely.
But, yeah, Vibey looks great here for Evan. Definitely expect that to come down here. And what has Conrad got? Genitor. What's happening with this? I mean, it currently plays with Mirror, but if Evan plays his best play here, it will no longer fit. At least I think it won't. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like no bingo after Vibey. And Vibey's the best play by far. Oh, Bevy is the second best play. It looks like Bevy's coming down.
Yeah, I do think Vibey is considerably better than this just because it scores 10 more points, and by keeping an I, you run the risk of drawing another I and crippling your rack next turn. So this feels like it is the second best play for sure, but definitely could be a play that Evan regrets depending on his draw here.
Yeah, he must have just been unsure of it or something because it's clearly better. So no janitor. This is going to be a tough position for Conrad.
Yeah. Oof. what to do here. Should he consider playing something like Goshed through the SH? Does he feel like he wants to, be aggressive in that way? I think it's going to be a little scary for him to make a play like that without the last S in hand, but maybe it's okay as, wow, meanwhile, Evan with that second blank. So just a tough situation for Conrad here. He's got to sort of stay one step ahead of Evan and try to get a bingo down before Evan does. So, the hood, the hood might be coming up. No, I thought it was for Conrad.
Yeah, he was pulling for a second, then he changed his mind. No hood. Okay.
Yeah.
Might be a slight tactical error there.
Not to go full hood status there.
Yeah, I think you got to go full hood here.
Oh, the timing of that was impeccable, Evans. I don't know if you saw how perfect that was. At least on my screen, literally the 2 seconds after you said that, he went full hood mode.
So Conrad's cheating, basically. He's listening to the commentary and adjusting his play accordingly.
Yeah, seemingly. I mean, that's a big swing, right? Conrad going full hood is going to dramatically improve that decision-making process here. So nicely done by him there. Evan, for his part, is just chilling, having his tea or whatever beverage that is. The second blank is a good, that'll ease the nerves when you pick that one up.
Definitely. So. Another fun word puzzle here. There's 3 8s with the 6 letters Evan has plus 2 blanks. I saw Wagmire and Wigmaker were found in chat. There's one more.
Oh, geez. One more that's not been said, huh?
I think nobody said the other one besides.
Oh, Wayman.
Wayman, yeah.
Yeah. All right, I got one.
Somebody said Wigman, as in Dave Wiegand is the Wigman, but that is not the correct answer.
I see. Yeah. Good question from 64-Bit Scrabble. Can Conrad just try to sit around and wait for Evan to open the board? Maybe, right? Like, I don't know. Patience is definitely okay here. The board is definitely closed here. Not a lot of options to go around. Maybe something like, I don't think this has been suggested, but something like Ogre at the top of the board with King. Do you want to do something like that just to really open absolutely nothing for Evan? I don't know. It doesn't feel right to me. It's not what I would do, but maybe there's some merit to it.
Yeah, he might just play Gore, just playing the G and the O into the R in Farmost. It's 15 points, keeps EINRT, and opens nothing.
That seems pretty good. Yeah, then
might be the kind of play he goes for here.
Sorry, Matthew. We are allowing your plays here. Okay, there it is. There's Goshed.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's a nice play, but it certainly greatly increases the importance of that last S. There's only one more. Evan obviously increases the importance of the blank too. So Evan with that blank is probably saying that's good. Actually, if I'm Evan, I'm a little worried. I'm thinking to myself, I'm playing Conrad Bassett-Bouchard, and he just played Goshed. I definitely am a little worried that Conrad has that last S making a play like that. So I would be nervous to let that spot stay open, but maybe he has the stomach to do it.
Yeah, this is interesting. Not sure what he's going to do.
He can't really address it effectively right now.
Yeah, it's true.
Maybe the best thing for him to do would be to just play something like, I don't know, something like Magi under the G of Goshed and try to draw something with your EW blank in the other direction. I'm not loving it, but
yeah.
Meanwhile, Conrad's draw was not what he wants to see. Yeah, he can just play awe there in the corner, I suppose. That makes sense. It could be, I mean, the thing that bothers me about that, let me update the score, is that it feels like you can do better from a score perspective than just awe down there for only 17 points. But if you're really scared, like, look, Maw scored 30 where Evan played it. So it would have been a large sacrifice. If you really want to put Conrad on that S, you could have, obstructed it, but it would have hurt you in the score column. Any way to get around Conrad playing Uoi here, Evans?
Not that I can tell. It seems like that's what he's going to do.
Yeah. That's rough.
URE in the top right corner, making a bunch of overlaps and scoring 26, but I don't think he's going to do that.
Yeah, interesting. That is a pretty good scoring play, but man, if Evan has the right stuff, he can overlap it so hard. You just need an R pretty much. Well, it's not that easy, actually. You need pretty specific, something good that would hook MU in the corner. Maybe you could get away with it. Meanwhile, Evan has not drawn well, by the way.
Oh, wow.
His close to bingo rack has certainly gone squirrely with the duplicated E's, I's, and the J. So this is this game swinging back and forth in the balance here. And there we see the cry of Bacchic frenzy that we love so much as Collins players. Uoi. Seems all right to me. Let's just see if Conrad can pull something. He really could use a natural bingo here before Evan inevitably gets his rack together to bingo himself. Maybe not inevitable, but I feel like it's inevitable.
We'll see. The way these guys are drawing, you just never know. Oh, you got an O. Vel.
Oh, Aneroid.
Oh, he's got a constant. Look at that D.
Aneroid finds its way on there. Just in time.
Oh, and it plays up top.
It plays up high, yeah. Yep. Aneroid plays up high for a big score, too. So this is just what Conrad needed here. Evan plays G. That's not going to block. So
yeah,
this
Conrad's
is
going to score 90.
This is a big swing, too, because now with IIG on the rack for Evan, if he draws into an ING bingo, that does not play off of the E of Uoi. That's not good enough there.
That's true.
So Conrad quickly seeing his very high-scoring bingo, 90 points in the upper corner. He's going to vault way into the lead, and this draw for Evan is pivotal. 64-bit Scrabble calling for Jilji and Tote. That's intriguing. A little scary to, open up the triple that way, but it does block a lot of stuff in the process. 64-bit Scrabble loves nothing more than burning the blank on non-bingo plays, so we have to work that bias into that suggestion.
Absolutely. So Evan is keeping us in suspense. What did he draw? Oh, he's got good stuff. CS.
Pretty good.
Does it play, though? I don't know. Like Siggy's.
Wow. Look at Conrad, though.
Oh, wow.
That is a big swing. Another bingo. I cannot imagine there's any scenario where Evan blocks Poulard with the D hooking onto the E of Uoi. So it looks like Conrad, even if Evan plays something like Cis or G's in the top, GIS, I should say, in the top right corner, Conrad's going to bingo immediately, and this game will potentially be out of reach. We might be seeing the rare Conrad Bassett-Bouchard win on stream. I say that jokingly. Obviously, Conrad is an extremely strong player, winning a lot of Scrabble games. Just for whatever reason, seems to have the cursed hand, the leaden hand in these stream games. I think he's going to pull this one out, though.
He's in pretty good shape right now, that's for sure. This game's been a great reminder that, the blanks are not always everything. It looked like that second blank for Evan was going to be this really, really pivotal draw that was going to decide everything. And it turns out, no, Conrad's just going to play back-to-back natural bingos and win the game that way. So blanks are not always the decisive factor.
Very true. And just a quick tracking update. On turn now, Conrad about to play this bingo. He sees it. I don't think he has a doubt in its validity. Poulard, he's very likely to play this momentarily on top of the E of Uoi. But there are many, many tiles in the bag. 18 tiles unseen to Conrad. That means 11 in the bag, so he doesn't have to worry at all in that regard that he's setting himself up for some kind of devastating outplay by Evan. He's taking a nice big lead here.
Oh my God, Evan still doesn't have a bingo. That's brutal.
Yeah.
It's like he's got an incredibly good rack again, and he just can't do anything with it.
That's I feel like we have to at least a little bit. It does seem like bad luck for sure, but we have to also give a little credit to Conrad for that, I think, just because I feel like his opponents are likelier to experience that phenomenon than most.
Definitely, yeah. I wasn't saying brutal luck. I was just saying it's brutal in general.
Oh, I think it's brutal in general, and I do think there's a luck component where Evan could easily have drawn something if just one tile here or there had been changed in some other direction. So I definitely think it's hard to ever, fully move away from the luck factor in this game. But there's luck, and then you make a little bit of your own luck as well.
So this is a 92-point lead now for Conrad, and it looks like it's going to be another low-scoring turn for Evan here. Just not much that can be done.
Yeah. Not only that, the score doesn't look like there's much on offer, but the board is also just pretty unappealing. There's also, I just want to point out something interesting, which is that this wild on the board, it's kind of reasonable to imagine maybe the players will consider hooking an S onto wild. And the reason for that is simply that there is a word like this, and there even is a word swiling. So I guess that was probably mentioned earlier because I saw people talking about seals.
Oh, wow.
So I'm sure that's why they were talking about seals. But, it's worth noting that S non-S hook is kind of appealing. Wouldn't be crazy to see Evan try that if he had to.
I would have totally played that because I know the word swiling, and I don't know the sixes so well that I would know that swiled is not good. Like, that's a hard thing to know.
Yeah. And swile, yeah. If swile and swiling are both valid, how is swiled not going to be a word? But it's not. So something we could see. You've
got to either really know your sixes or really know your definitions, and I don't know either of those things. So
yes, for sure. So yeah, tough turn either way for Evan. Not sure where he's going to go here. Currently, there are 4 tiles in the bag, so he can't play. I don't really see a way for him to play much more than 4 tiles. I guess he could play GIEN under Poulard if he wanted to play 4 tiles for a decent score, but that doesn't really have much of a future. Maybe if you find a place to fish off your C, you could try to fish for unseeing. No, the letters aren't right for that. I was thinking maybe off of the U of Zupa, you might be able to play like unseeing and Fannels. But that's not available. Not possible for him to draw.
Yeah, no S's.
So this looks like Conrad has this game pretty firmly in command, but maybe Evan could pull some magic out here. It's frustrating, Evans, isn't it, in these scenarios where you feel like maybe, just maybe, there's going to be some pathway to victory here if I could only find it, but usually there just isn't.
Yeah, and it's you want to conserve your energy because it's a long tournament, and you don't want to waste 10 minutes looking for some kind of miracle win that just isn't going to be there. On a board like this, it's just going to be really, really difficult to find anything, and I think Evan is starting to realize that. You see him kind of like nodding in resignation that this one's kind of lost.
Yeah, definitely at this point, the players are 13 rounds deep. One night in New Orleans, one more to go, right? The stamina is definitely a factor. So I was mentioning in the morning games with Cecilia Elias, my co-commentator, that I used to feel like I got a little bit of a baked-in advantage by the fact that I don't really drink. I don't really, go out and drink the huge-ass beers that everybody else enjoys. And for those that don't know, that is literally you drink out of a stein shaped like a butt. So that was.
They have normal cups too. I actually have one on my desk right here.
Oh my God! Do we need to cut back to the commentator screen? Okay,
I mean, if you need the visual aid, we can. It's fine.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I was just going to comment though that I think in this matchup between Evan and Conrad, there is one player with a distinct advantage, like the one you were just talking about, over the other. As I think Conrad was probably out a little bit later drinking than Evan was.
I see. So yeah, the hard living Conrad Bassett-Bouchard is overcoming his free living lifestyle to secure the win in this game. Wow, look at that comment from Mo Green, another one of my trusty commentators from yesterday. Freakings.
Wow.
That's a really intriguing idea. Maybe trying to come up with some kind of ing through the king. The problem is you can't end your word in ing. It would have to be a plural because it doesn't fit on the board, right? So there's only 5 squares to the left of that kin at the top of the board. If it were just one letter away, there might be some really crazy ing possibilities for Evan to go for here.
Yeah, it's got to be a perfect fit. There's only 7 total squares available there.
I wonder what else there is. I mean, that's definitely well beyond my capability to identify, 10s through KIN at the top of the board. But maybe you clever folks out there can come up with something. Muffin with Tentacle asks, is it safe to say that the hood flip was the turning point? Yes, definitely, in my opinion. Conrad going full hood mode seemed to be the moment where everything switched in this game.
Absolutely. And again, he's cheating because we said on the stream he should do that, and then he did it. So he's clearly got like a listening device or something.
Hey, we saw it in chess, right? We had the big chess scandal.
That's right. That's right.
But look at this. Very aggressive. So an aggressive option, 4 tiles in the bag for Evan, and he plays 3 of them to open things up pretty aggressively. I think that's warranted given the game scenario, but I feel like Conrad will be able to address this. Javier, something like Javier, it looks like it's, well, maybe you don't want to create that S hook. Does it Havior? Oh, you don't create? No, you can play Javier safely here if you want to.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Conrad's going to block that spot 1,000,000 times out of 1,000,000. Like, I don't really know what you're hoping to accomplish with ice, but maybe you can draw a bingo somewhere else on the board, but that doesn't look too likely. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just, in Evan's shoes, you just feel like you want to give yourself a chance. By the way, if Conrad somehow spazzes out and doesn't play something good, he will get hit with something like gasoline here.
Ooh, that sounds painful.
I was going to say, figuratively speaking, not literally. Gantlope also would fit through the P of Poulard, but Javier would block all of that stuff.
Oh, wow, nice.
Sorry, I did say an expurgated word there with the SPAZ. Sorry, gang. If Conrad were to have a sudden bout of tile transposition.
Anything's possible.
Yeah, I fully expect Javier or something to go down. The only question is, will he want to – that would just leave the X. Is there any chance that he's going to want to keep a vowel to go along with it just so he has a vowel? Or I think we actually know that the last tile in the bag is an E that's going to pair beautifully with that. There it is. Javier looks like a great play to close everything up pretty conclusively here.
You could just play Gantlope anyway. I hope he doesn't notice the RA.
Yes, Ra, the sun god. Is there anything else that Evan can sort of sneak onto the board here?
Ooh,
some crazy
behavioral is pointed out in chat.
Oh man, we need that, if only for the content. Please, Evan.
Yes, please give us the content. Yeah, very nice behavioral.
That's awesome. Good eye, everybody. Good eye to Sidewinder and Best. Nice to see you guys. Nice to see you, Best. That would be pretty sweet. Behavioral for 48 points. Oh, it does set up your X, though.
That's actually not the best play.
Yeah, it's definitely not the right play. Okay, too bad. It would be purely style points. Unfortunately, something just underlapping Poulard is very likely to be the best. But yeah, for the memes, for sure, it would be some clips made of that one.
Yeah, the actual best play is Pongal, Pongal, underneath Poulard, which is kind of boring, but technically good.
Well, I mean, it depends on your definition of boring, right? Like, that's a 5-tile overlapping, extremely obscure 6-letter word. Like, to most people, Pongal might be the best play they've ever made. Yeah, it's, in the grand scheme of things, compared to behavioral, I will admit it is pretty boring. So we'll see. Maybe he'll realize that he has behavior and behavioral, but realize that if he plays the AL suffix, he's setting up that really big EX spot. Maybe he'll compromise and just play to the top triple. Even that is not the best play at all. So either way, this game definitely decided at this point. No bingos available for Evan. Conrad sitting on a nice, easy EX combination. He's going to get his much coveted win on stream. So kudos to Conrad for that. And in the tournament, Evans, I think that's going to help him a lot to prevent Evan from running away with it.
Yeah, that should put Conrad in first place. He's going to be 10-4, and he's going to have the higher spread of the two 10-4s, him and Evan. With a possibility of Erickson Smith also being 10-4 if he wins his game. It looks like he is still in progress in round 14, so we don't know yet. And then lurking at 8-5 are Rob Rubinski and Austin Shin.
Dave Wiegand down to 7-6.
Yeah, Dave lost to Rob in the previous game.
That is surprising. Again, we saw Dave run his record up to 4-0 in the opening session, and we know that Dave is a tremendously talented player, maybe the best player in North America right now. So, yeah, pretty surprising to see him at 7-6. But again, that's Scrabble. That can happen to anybody.
I think Dave is a 3-time champion of this event, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's not surprising. Dave was the runaway champion of the 2022 Word Cup. At some point, I'll have some plugs together for the 2023 iteration of that for those that are curious. But Evans, we also got a plug. I'm sure Dave is going to be in attendance at the Collins Coalition National Collins Championship. If you want to tell us a little more about that, I'm definitely hoping to go to that.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so the flagship Coco event of the year is going to be the North American College Championship, which is happening in Seattle, Washington over Veterans Day weekend. So that's going to be November 10th. November 10th, 2023 in Seattle. It's going to be a 4-day tournament with a Final Four bracket playoff on the final day for the champion. Yeah, we're looking forward to that, and I think we're going to have a lot of the top players in North America, hopefully including Dave, including yourself, I would hope. And yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I believe one of these two guys on stream, Conrad, has already signed up for it, and yeah, hoping to build a great field for that one. It should be a lot of fun.
I have already circled the dates on my calendar, so I'm excited. As Evan makes a nice play, it's not Pongal, but it's only 1 point off of Longin. That's a very nice play by Evan to get a bunch of points, and Conrad responding with his best play to finish the game off. So, all right, there you have it. Game is complete. Pretty comprehensive performance here by Conrad. You pretty much got it all. A lot of good play finding and scoring. The only quote-unquote blemish Dasimeter not going down. That would have electrified the crowd for sure. But hey, not a lot of people are throwing that down during play. So pretty impressive job by Conrad here to vault himself back into first place, as you said, Evans. So,
yeah, definitely. So he's going to be 10-4, top of the standings. And we're still waiting on a result from Erickson Smith to see whether he also improves to 10-4. He is currently playing against somebody. I can't find out who. But yeah, pretty tight top of the standings there with those three guys, Evan and Conrad and Eric as well. So, and it looks like the next game on the stream is going to be the other two guys, Evan and Eric, playing each other, while Conrad goes down to board 2.
Nice. That's going to be pretty good. I'm excited for that matchup. It's worth noting, too, that Eric's spread is not very good. Again, for those that are sort of just tuning into Scrabble, maybe for the first time, the tiebreaker that we use for the players with the same record is the cumulative margin of victory. So you really want to win your game. Oh, look at this. Josh Axer Typo pointing out behavioral, but that gives back the X. He's explaining everything to Evan, who's taking it in stride there. Yeah, anyway, as I was saying, the tiebreaker is that cumulative margin of victory. Erickson does not have a very good cumulative margin. His spread, not so good right now, so he needs to keep winning if he's going to give himself a chance to take this down from the Collins division at the Crescent City Cup. Just a quick, for those that are curious about the other division in play, NWL, it looks like the player that you just saw telling Evan Borowski about behavioral, Axer Typo, Josh Sokol, is now in first place in the NWL division at 11-3. Hot on his trail, Jackson Smiley and Joey Krafchick at 10 wins apiece. So that's the update there. You can do exclamation point standings at any time to get the standings up. So Evans, I think maybe now is time for a quick break. Not sure if baby duty is coming up. Obviously, we'd love to continue to have you on stream if you're able, but of course we understand if duty calls.
No, I'm sticking around. I'm good.
Awesome. Great to hear it. So maybe what we'll do now then is take a short break and come back with round 15 between Evan Borowski and Erickson Smith from the Crescent City Cup in New Orleans, Louisiana.